Show. Bey. Catch Bey tonight on my show. Get up, we have a show. So first of all, introduce yourself to those of the audience members who don't know who you are and break down a little bit about what you do.
All right. Well, I'm Bey Bright, CEO of Bright Vision Entertainment, independent soul label. I'm an artist, songwriter, producer, arranger, an entrepreneur. Harlem, New York is where I was born and raised. Currently living in the DMV area on the East Coast. My main thing is soul nostalgia. That's my brand right now. So we can get into that. But what I do is I produce R&B soul music. So that's what I'm about. Bey Bright. I go by the name Bey Bright, the bad boy of indie soul.
I love it. Go ahead and plug your link too.
Yeah, so my music can be found everywhere music is sold and streaming on all the major digital platforms. And my website is beybrightbve.com. That's Bey spelled B-E-Y, BRIGHTBVE.com. My website connects to all my social media links on all major digital platforms. Also have a clothing line called Soul Nostalgia, so check that out too.
And if y'all aren't interested now, you will be by the end of this interview. I promise you that. All right, Bey, are you ready for these meat and potatoes? I'm going to throw some things at you and I want some answers and I'd love some feedback. Yes?
Sounds good, Sarah. Let's go for it.
Let's go. I love this New York attitude.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
All right. When you were 10 years old, what did you want to do for a living? And did you end up doing?
That's funny. When I was 10 years old, I think I wanted to be a rapper. And I did it somewhat, but so I could say yes and no. I did do some rapping. So when I was 10 years old, I wanted to be a rapper.
So why did you pivot into soul music? I mean, you didn't you stayed in music.
Yeah, I did. So, I bounced around with it. So, I did hip hop because again, being from New York City, that was just the wave. And at 10 years old, even though R&B soul music was the platform in my household through my parents, my peer group, the element of the streets of Harlem, the South Bronx, and every borough around and between, the pull was too much. So I kind of gravitated toward that. So that's how that happened. But eventually I found my way back to my first true love, which was R&B soul.
Yeah, you came back full circle.
Definitely.
And speaking of your family and growing up in a household that listened to soul music, how would you say your family would describe you when you were younger? And how would they say you are now? And is it different or is it similar?
I think my parents would consider me a guy who was very, opinionated. And I spoke a lot. I'm a Virgo. What's your sign?
Okay, Virgo's in the house. Okay, you're opinionated. Okay.
You're very analytical, and I guess when you analyze, you tend to have a lot of opinions about this, that, or the third. So my parents would say they gave me too much leeway to speak my mind. So we laugh about it today.
And that's a beautiful family to live in.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Being able to express yourself.
Yeah, I was able to express myself, and I think it helped with my creativity and my ability to just write songs and be expressive. So I thank them. Shout out to mom and dad. What's up?
And did you formally study music and did they support that? And do you feel like you're different now and less analytical and still? So it's like a kind of a two-pronged question.
I think I'm still analytical. I think by nature, I'm always analyzing and studying my surroundings, my environment, what other people think, what they have to say, and really just how it all fits and folds into my lifestyle. So, it's not about being judgy per se. It's just about analyzing the situation and seeing what's best for myself and the people that I love and care about. As far as what they think, they're good with it. I mean, they love me, they're supportive of me. And I think it's been more of a help than a hindrance.
Amazing. So that's such a rare story, especially for people in the arts. So it's so nice to hear. You know what I mean? It's refreshing. Right. It's like supportive parents. Amazing.
Yeah. Oh, Sarah, I'm sorry. You asked me a two-pronged question there. as far as I'm self-taught musically. I did go to the Harlem School of Arts for
Oh,
a short
wow.
time in my life, but it didn't, when I say it was very short, it was under a year. So I learned by ear. So I don't play any instruments. I dabble on the keyboards, like ding, 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 but I hear it, and I have, studio people come in, like musicians that will come in, but I'm self-taught. So everything that I've created all comes from my head. Usually it's on the fly. So
That's
it's just a gift from the creator, truth be told.
And obviously it's paying off, because if you guys haven't Googled Bey already, he's got a ton of accolades. Google him, or go to his site, because you
Right,
have a
right.
lot to your name, right? How's that experience been for you?
Oh man, it's been very rewarding. It's been, it's a lot of trials and tribulations as an independent. It's not, again, not just from an artistic standpoint, but from a business model. I had so many years of being rejected by the major labels, saying, this wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough for this, that, or third. I started to just, take it personal in a sense and say, man, I don't believe it. I'm never going to buy into that. I don't have something to offer the world from a creative standpoint. So I learned the music business, step by step, brick by brick. And all my money that I was making over the years, I just put it into the business, put it in the Bright Vision Entertainment, and went to the studio and just used all my talents and, pull people that I thought had some creative gifts as well, and just made it happen, Sarah. So I'm very proud to say that I persevered. One of the things I think that I'm most proud of about myself is my ability to persevere.
I'm laughing because I feel like you read my mind. My next question was, why you? Why should people bet on you? And how do you bet on yourself? And I think you just kind of wrapped it all in. You're like, perseverance, and I, persevered. And what do you think makes your music and your style and your vibe so special and unique?
Well, what I think makes my music special and unique is soul nostalgia. Again, that's the brand of music that I do. So it's a contemporary R&B feel with a blast from the past. That's with a nostalgic sound. So my music is reminiscent. People hear my stuff and go, "Dag, that reminds me of this record or that record." And it's
Yeah.
done purposely where I retain my originality, but kind of borrow from the past of the vibes of stuff that people like from yesteryear. So what makes me unique is I give you a little of the old school and the new school combined. Put
Kind of
that Bey
like,
Bright twist on it.
I like it. I mean, it's kind of like Music Soul Child back in the day, right? Kind of like that sort
No
of vibe.
doubt, no doubt,
Exactly.
definitely, definitely.
I
Yeah, Music
love
Soul
it.
Child. And funny, Sarah, you bring Music Soul Child. He's one of my favorites, and he's also a Virgo. Shout out to Music Soul Child
Shout
from
out to
Philly.
Virgos and shout out to Neo Soul right now. Right? Wouldn't you call it Neo Soul?
Well, it's
Because that's
R&B. It's more R&B soul, neo soul. It's all combined. I have some of that in my catalog as well that I've done for other artists that I've written and produced for on an independent scene. So just so folks know who may not be as familiar with me, there's a whole independent movement going on from all kinds of, from hip hop to R&B to neo soul to rock. I mean, so the independents are here right now. So that's what I'm about, making the best independent. And all independent really is when you're not with a major label. That's all that means. But the quality is still
business,
there.
man, especially right now.
Definitely.
Anybody's
Definitely.
game.
No doubt. It's something for everybody can jump in. But again, you have to have the business acumen. You have to have the professionalism, because what you notice when you don't have the major labels, I've noticed the major artists who've gone independent, sometimes they're a little lost because they had so many people doing things for them. They had so many handlers. They're not quite as savvy. One of the things I enjoy about being independent is I learned, like I said earlier, how to navigate those waters and all the pitfalls and all the things that you have to do. Things like getting your stuff on iTunes and Amazon and Best Buy, previously when I was doing CDs. So it's been a great learning experience, and it's been very rewarding.
Well, listen, I feel like with all of the knowledge you just like surface dropped on us, we need a 2.0 of this interview. Sometime in the future. I would love to have you back, hear a little bit more about your journey, your marketing, maybe help out young entrepreneurs that are musicians that want to come and obviously gravitate to your link and your channel. Does that
Hmm.
sound like a plan to you? Because that
That
was
sounds like a plan.
fun.
Hey, you know what, Sarah? First of all, I want to say shout out to LA. What's up to my people out in LA? And thank you guys
Yes.
so much worldwide. Bey Bright is worldwide. We're doing great things all over the world. So we can definitely have me back and for part two. And before I leave, Bey Bright, the bad boy indie soul CEO of Bright Vision Entertainment. My music is everywhere. Music is sold and streaming.
And throw them your IG handle too.
IG is Bright Vision 29. Again, Instagram, Bright Vision 29. And my websites, all my social media platforms is BeyBrightDVE.com. One love.
Amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time with us today.
Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate it. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.